Bonjour, bonsoir, dear friends, and welcome to JCB Live, another wine style on Wapo Hill with my irresistible, beautiful wife, Gina, and our gorgeous Honorée Joséphine. Today is the eve of a very special day. What is it tomorrow?
St. Patrick's Day.
What is it tomorrow as well?
Mom's birthday.
Yes! So for Bijou, for the love of our life, we're gonna have to open, the tradition wants it, as we all know, a beer. So this is an Oakville Grocery phenomenal Pilsner Lager that we made with our great friend Niall. And I'm very pleased to wish Honorée Joséphine, you and I, an amazing birthday for your mother. Happy birthday, Bijou!
Santé. Thank you.
So Gina,
Why
you're the
beer?
experts. So you're going to describe the beer and what you think of it. Oakville Grocery, Pilsner, St. Patrick's Day.
Well, beer is one of those things that you don't have to really think about. You just go with it. You enjoy it. It has to be nice and cold and crisp and beautiful bubbles, nice bubbles, and refreshing on the palate. This, I think, is outstanding and has the creaminess with the bubbles, which I love. And I'm a little biased, but not anymore, because we're going to do a little corned beef and cabbage, which is a family recipe from my mother's side of her family, which we're a little bit Irish, which is awesome. Typically, you do Guinness, which most people know. If you are Irish, it's about Guinness. It's the best beer. Everyone's like, oh no, too heavy, too rich, too this, too that. It's not. It's super light. It's beautiful. That being said, now within our own little house, we have a beer, 1881, which I adore. So we did a little spin-off on corned beef and cabbage, and we made it with 1881 Jean-Charles beer. So I'm sure it's going to be good, but this is an experiment. But that's what's nice, is to go with it. Go with your feelings, go with your emotions, and risk it and chance it. It's really hard to mess up. Keep it to the basics. I've tried it with Chardonnay. I've tried it with wine. I wouldn't go there. Beer rocks.
Beer rocks better for corned beef and cabbage than wine?
Yes.
Even the Gallo wines?
Well, you could, I would say, once it's done, because it's proper the preparation of creating it. And corned beef and cabbage is a long, long waiting time. But when it's finished, after your 6 hours of nice and simmering slowly with carrots, a little bit onion, celery, cabbage, beautiful corned beef, and the key, I would say, with corned beef and cabbage, which we call Nanny, my mother's mother, pickling spice. You don't even have to make your own. When we were younger, we had to make the pickling spice. Now you can just buy it, and you just add it to the corned beef. And corned beef is interesting because nowadays brisket has really won over the classic corned beef. So brisket I would recommend using to do. But it's lovely. We love it in our family. We've had it at least
I've been a
times.
fan, I gotta tell you, since we've met. Gina in 2004, St. Patrick's Day, did one of the most amazing corned beef and cabbage. She had already seduced me, but the softness of the cabbage, the flavor, the melting potato, the carrots, really invigorating your body, and then the horseradish and the special cream she did was so exhilarating that I became a lover. I've always loved Ireland, of course, and Irish friends.
Fantastic.
You know, Gina,
And
the
you're French. And you're French.
always aligned
This is
with
like-
the Irish.
Ah!
We love the Irish.
I'll show you what it looks like before. And
Okay.
you can see a little after. It's really lovely and it's very simple. I think everyone should do it, Irish or not Irish, because we've turned our love, your father, Honorée, my love, your papa, into corned beef and cabbage, which it resonates
Okay,
to
so-
a lot of, I would say, all over the world. You have
Look at this
the
gorgeous
classic
scarf,
stew per
Honorée.
se, but here it
Wow.
is. So you
Look at
use
my
a little
gorgeous-
pickling on top.
Ooh.
You have a beautiful cut you can see. You really want a bit of the fat that resonates and makes it just beautifully tender. And what you end up doing is, I used to use Guinness, now I'm using 1881, but then you'll put a little bit, not to cover it completely, but water and then half beer, and you put your carrots, your onions, You put a little bit of celery, and most importantly, your beautiful cabbage from the garden. Potatoes I cook separately because you really want them to be beautiful and not overcooked. And that's the difference. In the older days, you would put it all in together, but now it's nice to cook things separately so you have very beautiful potatoes, your cabbage that is firm and crisp and lovely. And then I've done a twist on our family recipe, add some sprouts, because right now sprouts are in season and we're in March. So why not add sprouts, which I love. So a little bit of the sprouts.
It looks like a very healthy dinner.
Well,
It's very healthy, Gina, actually, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's kind of like, which we also love, is the charcuterie with the sausage and the cabbage. And it's all the balance together, which when you enjoy it in intake with a little bit of wine during the supper and the cabbage, the digestive system, it's not unhealthy. Even with the potatoes, potassium. I love potatoes. They say, you know, makes you happy, which is interesting. I truly believe it. So if we come over here, we can see.
Yeah, let's come closer. But Honoré, you love corned beef and cabbage as well, right? Isn't it a great recipe?
Right? Well, we have another tradition in our family for St. Patrick's Day, which Honoré Josephine's going to take you on a tour after I show you in the pot what it looks like when we get it all in, because we have done it. It takes a long, long time, so obviously we don't have time to do all of it. It's here, so it's beautifully done.
So Gina, you put
aroma.
all the ingredients together, correct?
Yes. So I'll do both. I'll do some cabbage, some carrots, some celery, some onions. Obviously the corned beef is on the bottom. You always do the fatty side on top. All your pickling spice.
So the fatty's always on top.
Always
in your
on top,
tradition.
which is
better?
different, which is interesting, because typically you would
And
do
who's
fat
on the bottom then?
I'm always on top. I just like.
Oh, you like to be on top.
But
all right.
that being
well,
said.
you know, talking about that, Gina is going to be on top, but not yet. We're going to put a little Buena Vista on the bottom.
In the pot.
Well, in our mouth.
Okay.
Because
I like that.
we're going to try
What do you
two
think,
great
Honoré?
wines besides the beer. Oh, no, hey, I want you to smell it and tell me what you think.
Here, you have mine.
No, she has mine.
Okay.
Dear friends, Buena
raspberry.
Vista Pinot Noir, we're going to compare with the fabulous Gallo Estate as well. So, two fabulous wine. I should do it this way. Gina Gallo Estate, the fabulous wine she's started to make with her grandfather.
Well, one correction. It's my grandfather Julian, my great uncle in the United States. So really about them. It's the founders, everything we've learned, history, heritage. Your history and heritage goes way, way, way back. Ours goes back a little bit too in California. And this wine is all about them. Everything. All of our siblings have learned, our cousins have learned all about the land, the dirt, sustainability, and really, like my grandpa used to say, your richest soil is the best thing that you have to offer anyone. And how do we protect it? How do we keep it there? And it's now in our blood and our brain. We just love it. It's all about sustainability and properly handling and giving it back. Because if we don't give back, what is it going to give us? We always have to give back.
And you know, Gina is so right. We purposely started with the estate. I was making a little test on your mother.
You tricked me a little
And
bit.
I was trying to trick her, but I did not succeed, of course.
So a little
the
Russian
most
Pinot Noir.
talented winemaker in the world of
No,
wine.
no.
My lovely wife. And you could see, ooh la la, the two roosters. What is that?
Leprechaun.
Leprechaun. It's a leprechaun. So what does he do, the leprechaun? We hide him? And what about if we find him?
No.
We get a kiss?
No, leprechaun hides its hat everywhere in the house.
Oh, he put its hats. Wow.
And it brings magic to that.
What does it bring to that home?
Magic.
Magic. Awesome. So, Honoré, tell us what you think. Show us how you taste. This is Maman's wine. You see, hands in the pocket. I like the style. She's swirling counterclockwise, so she's weighing cow. Go clockwise. Yeah, very good. Ooh la la. You smell? What do you smell? Licorice? Chocolate?
No.
Raspberry?
Yes.
Strawberry?
Yeah, never agree always.
Blueberry?
Stick to your will.
A little tannins? A
Well, she
little-
hasn't tasted it. She's
Okay.
just smelling.
Now try. Well, tell us what you think. We're going to taste Maman's wine tonight. It better be good. If it's approved by the fourth generation, then I agree.
I like how you said. Just a touch
How
of
was
the
it?
tongue.
Tell how much you love it to everybody. It's your mother's wine.
It's okay if you don't. You still
You love it, right? It's deep, it's rich, it's dark. Well, bijou.
It might need the corned beef, I think.
Well, Gina, I think we need to come back here a little longer. But maybe before we come back, tell us about the flavor profile of this wine, which, dear friends, I can absolutely vouch for the fact that it's going to be so good. With this great corned beef and cabbage. It's soft, it's elegant, it's refined, but it has great spices too. Great herbs.
It's interesting because with Jean-Charles being from Burgundy and French, and my brother Matt and I really fell in love with Pinot way before we knew Jean-Charles, which is interesting. And now with him in Burgundy and the great things that he's doing there and here, when I look back and reflect on my childhood, my grandfather Giulio and our family wouldn't have touched Pinot with a 10-foot pole. You know, it was just like, it was always Zinfandel, it was Cabernet, it was these other varietals that really flourished in California. But now, knowing what we know, Pinot is really about the stock. It's about the foundation. It's about the clone, the rootstock, and the soil and the dirt, most importantly. And now that we've discovered that and understand it, Russian River is king and queen for Pinot Noir. Sonoma Coast as well, it does extremely well. So now we have a Pinot Noir in our portfolio, and I'm sure my grandfather's looking down saying, oh man, I missed something, which is fun because you know what? I don't think my grandfather missed anything.
He started it, which is great.
But now we have a Pinot, and I think it's a lovely Pinot. We only make it; it's very small amount, and using all the Dijon clones, all French oak, very classic. And Pinot for myself, my brother, when we taste it will be there if it's in the right spot. What's important is texture. There's something about Pinot that should be dancing on your tongue, but silkiness and just. It's all about that texture, and that's
it is dancing. Can I get a little kiss?
Yes.
Yes. That was a quick dance. Can I get a little kiss?
And I love it. I think for food and wine, all wines go great with different types of food, but Pinot reminds me of my childhood. Zin always pairs up nicely with different dishes. Pinot I find very similar. It can really be a how do you say metamorphosis? It can go into different stages where
it's a mademoiselle to an adolescent lady to a beautiful lady to a mature lady, and that's the beauty of it. It really follows every rhythm of every decades, and this is a fabulous wine. So, Gina, I know we want to talk wine, but corned beef and cabbage. So, maybe Dylan, look at this preparation. I'm in love with my wife's decorative skills. Every holiday, Valentine, New Year's, obviously St. Patrick's, Easter is in preparation, and we're going to show you more on Easter. You can see it's fully blooming. The rabbit is around.
And Honore's going to show you our hat that magically moves around. Shall we? Because Honore found it this afternoon after she came home from school.
Elon, the peacock.
A leprechaun hat.
Wow. So what do you do, Honore?
You just try to find it, and they will hide it in a different spot every day.
That's very cool.
But we never see the leprechaun, right?
No.
And
It's
what are you going to
magical.
do with the hat? So you take it and hang it somewhere else with someone else till the day of St. Patrick's, till tomorrow?
No. The leprechaun comes back and moves that hat somewhere.
Oh, he does.
He does. We can touch the hat, it's okay. But the leprechaun will come back and move it. And then when we find it, whoever finds it first has a wish they make, and magic comes in their life.
I love it. It's gorgeous.
It's been around forever. Do you remember since you were probably 1, right?
No.
2? 3?
All right.
No.
So thank you for showing us. We found the leprechaun. So Gina, what's your wish?
No, we found the hat. Not the
hat.
leprechaun. I don't know if you ever find the leprechaun. Only
Well,
this
he's
one
right
here.
here.
We have this one. That one we always have, who I love. He's just always happy and smiling. And this one here, this is true.
This one is always happy and smiling.
This is true. Very positive.
So Gina, tell us about what do we do when we find the hat? I'm
Whoever
intrigued.
finds it, usually it's the little ones, the girls. They're mesmerized. They just go crazy. Mama, the hat, I found the hat. It moved. Now it's on, here or there. And wherever it is, they don't want to touch it. But now they know the leprechaun hat you can touch versus the elf you shouldn't touch during Christmas. So the leprechaun, they can touch the hat and just feel it. And then they say, make a wish. And they make their wish and magic will happen to them if they do their little prayers and think of that wish. So it's a wonderful story. It's the spirit of anything, right? The spirit of Santa Claus, the spirit of the leprechauns. So that is it.
So to the spirit of history now, we're trying the famous Chateau Buenavista. There's no better wine to pair with Gina's estate. So Gina, give us a little description.
I'm glad this came after our estate because our estate, this is really powerful. This explodes in your mouth. It's very, has these raspberry characters that are happening. The California beautiful sunshine, but it has this elegance of spiciness, which I think will be interesting with our corned beef and cabbage tonight. Because I said pickling spice, right? Don't think of pickling, but it's all of the different spices in pickling spice. Very complex, a lot of layers, and that's what I get in this. Very spicy. You have all of the things.
Nice herbal feel and really wild strawberry. I have a feeling I'm
That's true too.
the
Wild
forest,
strawberry.
and I see those little tiny raspberries, strawberries
Loganberries.
And look at who is here, my little boy.
We need to put green on him.
Well, he has, Bijou.
There we go.
He has. Look at our Frenchie. Our Frenchie,
a
whenever
little-
he hears
you need
Buena
a little
Vista,
color.
he shows up.
There we go.
Buena Vista, he loves it.
He doesn't like the girly thing, but we like him to be a little girly sometimes.
But you know what he loves the most? I think he's into beer. He's into the Pilsner.
No.
Oh, Frenchie.
No.
He likes crystal.
He watches his waistline. He's all about a little wine once in a while. At least a half a glass a night. He likes to sip. He's going to have leftover corned beef and cabbage. Let's look at the corned beef, by the way.
Okay, well, let's serve a plate. I think we already,
It's not quite done, but
by this stage, I think Gina,
we
it's
can
time.
see it. As
Look,
you see, the cabbage.
this
And
beautiful
it's lovely.
plate
You put the
for us.
cabbage in a little bit later. And things a little bit later so they don't get overcooked. But at the same time, you know what? We're going to put the little recipe
Wow.
on
Look at this
this as
gorgeous
well.
piece.
So we'll put details on how to do it. So the one thing with corned beef is you get these huge, but they shrink up. So here we have a couple. See how beautiful.
Gorgeous. Well, let's
I
just
really
pick
like to
one.
do one big one. But nowadays with everything going on, it's hard to get a big piece of the corned beef. So I did 3 today. There you go.
Good.
You want to have a little carrot on
Yeah,
there too?
maybe a little cabbage to show everyone.
So nice.
Go ahead.
And then you go like this. It's very family style. It's really, it's comfort food, but I would say comfort food. Very savory, very warming, especially right now. Thank goodness we're going to get some serious rain coming in, which I adore. We need the rain, and it's finally going to come tonight or tomorrow. And that is it. I would probably put it on a big wood platter, and then you carve it. As we know or don't know, I mean, I learned from my brothers, my father especially, you always go against the grain, never go with the grain. And that's what makes it tender too. So you go against the grain, and it just falls off and just delicately in your palate. So to me, I'd have to say I'm biased about Zinfandel, but for this dish, with all of these different, which you know this little one, right?
Yes.
All the herbs and spices that you put in here, it's about Pinot Noir. So I don't know, a better pairing and matching. And when it comes to sitting down at the table, then I would say no more beer. When you're cooking it, have a little beer, inspires you. After that, go for the Pinot Noir. I think you have 2 killer Pinot Noirs, and especially the Buena Vista, more powerful, that'll hold up to this. I think the estate as well. But God bless Pinot, and I'm glad I found it and fell in love with it.
And God bless those grandparents who gave birth to her parents and your parents who gave birth to the beautiful Gina. Without her, I would not be here in the same way. So in love, celebrating your birthday.
I know.
My
I'm
love,
so excited.
tomorrow is happy birthday, Gina.
Every year older is better, because at least we're a year older.
And wiser. And just to let you know,
Kind of way.
the corned beef keeps getting better.
Yes.
Thanks for being with us and happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.